So I'm going to bring this back up because there was a few people that pissed me off in the comments about Claude and the whole Afro-Latina thing. Please stop justifying a racist decision that they made to change this man's ethnicity. Race, whatever. Please stop. And for those bitches out there that's trying to make it seem like I'm saying that there shouldn't be any Afro-Latina representation, shut the fuck up, because that's never what I said. What I did say is why does the Afro-Latina representation have to replace the only African-American representation in the show? Why can't both coexist? Why couldn't they make another character to represent Afro-Latina? Why did they have to change the only two characters who were clearly African-American and make them something else, as if them just being black wasn't enough? Y'all don't see the issue with that? And y'all keep saying, oh, well, Afro-Latina deserve representation too. They do. No one is saying that they don't. But black people also deserve that. But y'all don't care. Because black lives only matters when it benefits y'all. We did not need Claude to be half Hispanic. We didn't need it. We could have had another character to represent Afro-Latina people. Claude didn't need to be that representation. So, period, point blank. And I understand, y'all saying, oh, well, he speaks more, he knows more about Hispanic culture. He's more Hispanic leading because he was around his mama. His mama taught him Spanish. She didn't really teach him about being black, da-da-da-da-da. I get it. However, I don't really care about the how and the what he is. I care about why. Why did they feel the need to make him Afro-Latina in the first place? I cannot help but feel like it was to take away from the fact that he is black. And you cannot convince me otherwise. Like, if that wasn't the case, then why didn't y'all introduce any new characters who were African? Or had an African descent, had an African background? Here's my thing. So G3 took the characters, wiped them clean of their old identities, and give them new basic identities, but also gave them different racial backgrounds than they had before. Like Abby is Indian now, Dracula is Taiwanese. We have all these different ethnicities and this, that, and the third. However, and making Laguna from Australian to Hispanic or Mexican. However, they didn't give anybody an African background. The only two characters that did have an African background, they also added on top of it by also making them Hispanic. So there's no one who's just black like there was before. There are literally a list of characters that they could have made either Afro-Latina, part Latino, Hispanic, whatever the case may be. They could have done that with a whole bunch of other characters. But when it comes to the two black characters who not only represent the black community, but are clearly black, they feel the need to add something else into the mix to kind of take away from them being 100% black as a whole. That's why I'm upset. That's what worries me. And I'm upset about it because now there is no black representation in Monster High. And y'all are okay with that. Y'all are fine, right? Because there's gay representation now. Woohoo, wee-hee. However, there's a lot of black people. There's a lot of black kids who were into Monster High who weren't gay. You see what I'm saying? What happened to their representation? And I will say this, bitch, don't get my word twisted. I love that Monster High has gay representation. I don't really like necessarily who they have representing it. Cleo and Frankie just don't work for me. However, I like it. I appreciate it. Well done, apply to you. However, why is it that you're worried about all of the other minorities being represented? However, when it comes to black people being represented, when it comes to the African American minority, you don't seem to give two shits. Because mind you, again, there still isn't any, there's gay representation, there's Asian representation, there's non-binary, there's gender representation, right? because the world has more than two genders. Okay. There's Latino, Latina, Hispanic, Honduran representation. There's fire representation. There's all these different community. There's Indian representation. All of these different minorities are being represented, except Black people. Wow. Yet Monster High is still this all love, all inclusive brand. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all don't. It's crazy to me because y'all are really letting y'all true fucking colors show. Y'all are. And I mean, kudos to even having all of that representation, although I feel like a lot of it is fake, and I'm getting ready to explain why. Maybe I care more because I'm an African American man, and I liked seeing Claude and Claudine and Howleen because they were clear African American representation in a popular kid show. But all of a sudden that just disappeared, right? I don't know. It's extremely annoying to me. And before y'all go on to say like, oh, well, maybe they'll do a African character a little bit later in the series. Maybe we'll finally be introduced to a Black representing character maybe later down the line. Here's my thing. If they do end up doing that, cool, great. However, why do we come last? Why do we come fucking last? Why does Black people, why do we come last? I'm being dead serious. I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Why do Black people come last? After all that we've been through, and yes, I'm getting ready to talk. No, I'm really not. Girl, I ain't got time for that shit. But if you know, you know, throughout history, throughout how much we have had to fight for our fucking rights, how much we have marched, how much we have done for this country, how much we have built, how many businesses we have started, how many things we've invented that people use to this day in modern technology, how many Black brains have shaped this country, yet we still come last. I don't know. That's just me, maybe, you know. Maybe I got a little bit too deep for y'all. I don't know. I believe that all minorities, all mixed race, whatever, deserves representation. However, I will say this, and I know I'm going to get canceled. I know y'all are going to go off of me in the comments. I feel like no matter what you're mixed with, you should get representation. Afro-Latina, Blasian, you know, Black and Asian, African and Indian, you know, that's a thing. Black and brown mixture. However, we started off as just Black. You see what I mean? And I know y'all don't want to believe it. I know y'all don't want to agree because then, you know, people will try and say that you racist. But no, it's just the truth. We started off as just Black, just Africans. And then we branched off into Africans being mixed with Latinas and this and that. And you see, then we became mixed, but we didn't start off that way. You see what I mean? Even if I'm not historically correct and Black people didn't start off in Africa, whatever, feel free to check me in the comments. I'll absolutely let you. Again, you get my point. Black people didn't start off as mixed. We started off as just Black. I feel like because we are not superior, but dominant, kind of like we're the majority. You see what I mean? I feel like we deserve representation before the others, if anything. I want to say this. I believe that we all deserve representation. I believe that we deserve representation side by side. You know, why can't there be African representation, Afro-Latina, Blasian, Blendian? Why can't we all be represented in the same spectacle? You see what I mean? However, don't try to make it seem like you're this all-inclusive brand, or, you know, you represent diversity and inclusivity from every part of the world. yet you fail to have representation of one of the most important and one of the largest race in the world. Wow. Wow. And also let me say this, cause I bet y'all didn't peep this as well, but I peeped it. And I'm gonna put y'all on. Y'all notice how nobody else is mixed? Laguna isn't mixed. She's all Honduran. She's also a big ass stereotype. Like, the more and more I actually watch and peep Laguna's behavior, she's very stereotypical. It's awful. Deuce isn't mixed. Draculaura's mixed, but she's mixed with Transylvanian because she's a vampire and vampires are from Transylvania, but I don't include that because vampires aren't real. Bitch, how the fuck are you? Oh, she's representing vampires. Duh, girl, no. So no, I'm just gonna say that she really represents the Asian community. Abby isn't mixed. She's an Indian girly. The only people that are really mixed is the black representing characters. So I'm also saying this because I've seen this in the media as well. I'm tired of people trying to erase black people. I'm so sick and tired of y'all trying to erase black people and y'all sticking up for G3 as if like this is okay. It's not even just G3. It's just media now in general trying to erase black people. What they see as black representing characters is the light skins who have long curly hair, who obviously have some sort of blackness in their DNA, but they're clearly not all black. Or if they are black, they're whitewashed as hell. They act like they lived in the fucking suburbs their whole life. We don't get nobody that's really black nowadays, and it sucks. I miss seeing genuine black faces and genuine black personalities with genuine black features. I miss seeing them on TV. I miss seeing black people just being people, you know, embracing the black culture. That's what I miss. Nowadays, they portray black people as either extremely whitewashed or extremely ghetto. There really isn't a medium now. Today at work, I helped this old man out. He was a man of color. And he asked me where something was. And, you know, I have been working at my job for a minute now. So I immediately knew out the top of my head. He was like, he was looking for something. He said we ain't have it. I'm like, nah, I know we got it. I know exactly where it is. Let me show you where it's at. I showed him to the aisle where, you know, what he was looking for. He was like, thank you, brother. I was like, wow, I ain't been called brother in a long time. And when I was called brother at first, I didn't really think much of it. You know, it's just something that people say. No, it's not just something that people say. It's something black people say. Black men to each other because we are brothers. You see what I mean? So I appreciate it. You know, we kind of talked a little bit. He introduced himself. He shook my hand. People don't shake each other's hands no more. People don't get acquainted with people no more. People are too scared to talk to people. But I think that's another reason I love black culture and I love the black community so much, because people make us seem like we are hateful and aggressive, but actually we are extremely welcoming. We are. I don't know. It was just a nice moment because it reminded me of the times where like I was little and I was around a lot of people like that. Like when I used to go to church and I used to be around like a lot of old school black folks. And I'm also from Mississippi too. So like, bitch, I'm from the South. But girl, I'm getting so off topic, but like on topic. I love black culture. And I miss it. I miss it a lot. The black culture that we see on TV nowadays, like I said, is so fabricated. It's made to seem like it's something that it's not. And I really feel like it is just for the entertainment of white people. Genuinely, wholeheartedly. They don't make a lot of stuff that entertains black people nowadays. And some of the stuff that they do, like I said, is either extremely whitewashed or extremely ghetto. You know, I miss like, I don't know, I want to say I miss like Friday, yeah, Friday After Next, the old Tyler Perry movies. Um, it was one black movie that I watched. This came out a long time ago. It was called Fat Girls, starring Monique. Black TV shows like Moesha, The Parkers, One on One, Girlfriends. What's it called with the two sisters? Half and Half. I miss stuff like that. And granted, I wasn't even like really watching that stuff when it was on. But like a few years ago, or when they had added them on Netflix, I was binge watching the shit out of all of them back to back. I can tell you, first it was the Parkers, then it was Moesha, then I started watching Half and Half, then I started watching One on One, then I started watching Sister Sister. And I'm like, wow, like this is the shit. The theme song, the characters, like this is what I need to be watching. I like this. Why can't we have more of that? You know? Now, these some real oldie but goodies that I got hip to back when I was in middle school. Like, Martin. Y'all, y'all already know I couldn't forget Martin. What's the one show? We're brothers. We're dun-dun-dun and we're color. Dun-dun-dun. The Wayans Bros. Them. It was another one too. I don't know, I can't remember, but like I said, my parents got me hit to them in middle school. I was watching them shows. Yeah, and Wild 'N Out. I was also watching Wild 'N Out at the time. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that's what I forgot. But I actually got hip to that myself a long time ago because I think they used to play it. They used to play episodes on Nick at Night. That's how I got hip to it. That and George Lopez. But yeah, all of that just to say, like, I do miss seeing like black representation. I love seeing black representation. So it's very disheartening to me that like a brand that promotes inclusiveness so much, like that's literally all they preach. Monster High, we're so cool, we will always accept you. Like they're so diverse and this and that. However, they don't have any black representation. And yes, I feel like they do have to, because if you gonna represent all these other minorities, why not represent black people? That is still such a huge community in today's society. There are a majority of black kids who would be watching this show, but you don't even have any characters to represent them. You more worried about having characters to represent gay people, but kids don't even know how they identify yet. And I'm not saying that to say that there isn't such thing as like a gay child. I was a gay child. I knew at an early age, but I know y'all are going to hate me for saying this, but it's the truth. Statistically, there are more black kids than there are gay kids. But again, it's clear y'all really don't care about black people. So yeah, like I said, it's the lack of black representation in G3 is really annoying. And the fact that y'all excuse it with just complete and utter BS is also annoying. And it just kind of make me want to be like, girl, bye. You know, there was someone who had made a comment on my previous video about Claude. And they basically told me to use my imagination. Use my imagination and just pretend like Claude is all black. Here's the thing about that. So I actually have been kind of pretending like he's all black. But with the most recent music video, that being Claude's music video, He's literally, he does nothing but have a thick Hispanic accent, makes tons of Hispanic references like tamales, this, that, and the third. Just kind of speaks Spanish randomly whenever. He's literally a stereotypical Spanish Hispanic male caricature. So it's hard to use my imagination of him being a black man when G3 makes it so obvious that they want him to be more Hispanic leaning than black. Like, it's so painfully obvious. And I'm tired of people trying to explain, oh, well, his mother taught him his Hispanic heritage and she taught him how to speak Spanish and didn't really teach him about his black half, and that's why he speaks the way he speaks. That's why he is the way he is. That was the story that Monster High made up to take away from the fact that he is black. You can't convince me otherwise. Because if that wasn't the case, then they would have given him a more black or African background in his storyline. Like, I don't know, maybe, oh, my favorite thing to eat is oxtail or jerk chicken and rice. My family comes from this tribe in Africa, but da 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 da, and such, and yeah, that's all I'm saying. They could have very much incorporated an African background to him. Instead, they chose to do Hispanic, even though he was originally a black man. And they even kept his black features. They did. They kept his black features into tricking people into thinking, oh, they still have black representation. They're representing black people. They're representing the black community just fine. When in reality, they aren't. They representing everybody the fuck else but black people. Oh my goodness, are you shocked? Are you surprised? Yeah. Unpopular opinion, G1 was more diverse. But y'all choose not to see that. And I feel like it's mainly because they didn't have openly gay representation. But they also couldn't. I swear if that wasn't the case, y'all would be all over G1. I don't see how G1 wasn't considered inclusive. And what's also funny? I was just told this in the comments. I didn't quite believe it at first, but I'm starting to see it more and more. Somebody said that Laguna Blue, G1 Laguna Blue, was actually supposed to represent black Australian characters. And I was like, Laguna being black? That's interesting. That definitely wouldn't have come across my mind, but I don't know. I guess I could see it. She does have plump lips. She does have curly hair. There was even a doll where they gave her like 4C hair. So I guess it wouldn't be like too far-fetched that Laguna could possibly represent like Australian black representation. I could see that. But what I also think is funny is G3 took that away. G3 took that away and made her completely Hispanic represented. Not a little bit of flavor thrown in there, not a mix of this, not a mix of that. They just made her. Yeah. So literally all of the black representation that was in Monster High, they took it away. And this is what I mean, right? Y'all are so, OMG, Monster High G3 is so inclusive. It's so diverse. It's really not, though. It's not. It's fake diverse. And let me tell you how. So in G1, let's use Draculaura for an example. She was, not only did she have an accent to kind of allude to where she was from, She also had fashion that represented that as well. It was giving very much Victorian era. G3 Draculaura doesn't really have an accent, alluding to her either being Transylvanian or Taiwanese. She just has an American accent. But she's diverse because the voice cast is more diverse now. Yeah. The outfit is really, it's very childish. It's not really giving anything, but it's a kid show. It's a kid show. So who cares if the clothing is shitty? It's a kid show. Claudine had a Brooklyn accent. To be honest, I don't really know how that alludes to where she's from, because I don't know if she's actually from Brooklyn, and the fact that her brother doesn't have that accent, I don't know. But either way, it gave her personality. G1 was diverse. We had lots of different ethnicities. We had people coming from all over the world. G1 was diverse. It just wasn't gay. And that's what pissed y'all off. That's why y'all say it's not inclusive, or it's racist, or it's whatever, because it wasn't gay. Let's be completely honest. I want to sit here and just take the time to be 100% fucking for real. What does G3 have that G1 doesn't have? A gay character. It's as simple as that. But another thing is just, I am so sick and tired of people using the "it's a kid show" excuse when it comes to Monster High G3. I'm so sick and tired of it because it's such a dumb and lame excuse. Just because it is a kid show does not mean they don't have to use detail. It doesn't mean they don't have to pay attention to detail and actually work on giving it a good storyline, creating an interesting lore. And it's annoying because it's shitting on the other kid shows that actually did try. First of all, G1 was a kid show and that shit was bomb. Was it 100% perfect? No. Did it have a few plot holes and inconsistencies? Hell yeah. But it was still the shit. It was still interesting as hell. G3, on the other hand, it is so bland and just personalityless, and it's so obvious that it's just trying to be woke. And let's talk about woke for a second. I feel like when people used to say woke, they were talking about being aware of society and how the government is secretly trying to use us as slaves, knowing the truth about the government and shit like that. That's what woke used to mean, knowing what was really going on in the world. Now woke means, I know about all of the pronouns and all of the gender identities. That I just think that's crazy. They're using that to distract you from the truth of what woke really means. But anyways, their attempt at trying to be so politically correct and social justice activist, whatever, it comes off as extremely corny and extremely mediocre. It comes off very much in a corporate way. It doesn't come off very genuine or natural. And it's very annoying to me that this is the quality of kids shows nowadays, and people are accepting this and saying that this is a decent kid show. This baseless ass, meaningless ass cartoon is a good kid show. I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather watch Bluey than watch Monster High. I'm being so dead honest. Bluey has so much more personality, and an actual kid show. Bluey has so much more personality than this piece of shit. And again, it's There were kids shows before that are still memorable, so memorable because of how much the good story that they gave it. These shows built an entire fandom because of how good and how deep the stories were. All of the details, all of the things that made it more than just, some characters on a screen. People lived through these shows. People loved these shows. It was something that taught us something. G3 doesn't really teach us anything. It teaches that, no, it doesn't teach anything. It doesn't. I know I talked your heads off for a long time. I kind of just got lost in the mix. I had a few things that I wanted to talk about. But yeah. That's it. That's the video. If you liked it, make sure that you give it a like. Comment what you agree or disagree on. Let's have another discussion. Bitch, don't piss me off though. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more. Make sure that you comment about if you agree or disagree with what I said. Let me know if you want me to talk about things like this a little bit more. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you, messy girls. Stay cute, stay black, stay blessed. Mwah.